Mhm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Worldhoppers, a collaborative channel where all of the AdSense revenue and merchandise sales goes to charity. And today we're here to throw a little salt, be a little shady, I guess, talking about our least favorite books that we've read so far this year. And yeah, originally some people thought of all time, and I was like, oh no, we need a whole day for that. But we're just going to talk about 2022 thus far. And so, I mean, you guys are pretty regular, but do you want to introduce yourselves? A rapid fire.
It's me, Jashana.
Hey, girl.
I have a
Do
channel.
you want
It's
to talk about some friggin' books?
I do indeed.
I say that with you every time. Like I watch your video, I'm like, let's talk about some.
I've had people comment that like when I change it up and say like some friggin' TV shows, they're like, "Oh, you got me."
People don't like change. I've learned just in
Oh
general.
my god, no, they do not.
How dare you?
Like the one constant in my life was Deshauna saying friggin' books, and now I don't even have that.
Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
Yeah, that's me though. You guys.
I'm Leanna. This is my library. I'm Leanna's library.
I love
That's not even all of it though. That's just part of it.
It's a cozy
small corner.
Oh, hello. I'm Mara from Books Like Wow.
Look at that. So cute.
I wore my shirt the other day, Mara, the Target one that said, "Oh, hello." That you remember when I got it? And
Yes.
I was like, Mara, did you say that? Oh.
I know. I had one, and then I got it home, and one boob fit in it, and was like, okay, well, basically, I guess this is not for me.
Got merchandise in a major retailer. Oh,
yeah. They said, "Oh, hello." So cute.
Well, how has your reading been so far this year? Like overall, mine has been, You know, I've had a few outstanding books, and the rest have been either terrible or, I mean, forgettable. It's not looking good for me.
It's a very middle of the road.
Yeah,
Would you rather have a bad book or a middle of the road? Like if you're reading, would you rather be terrible or just fine?
I almost feel like I want it to be terrible because I can at least remember it and be like mad about like this, because a lot of the middle of the road ones, I'm like, forget like by the end of the month during a wrap up, I'm like, oh yeah, I read that, but like, what was it about?
I brought this up last year when I was trying to rank books that I'd read for that year, and I was like, yeah, like the ones that are like in 3-star range, like I forget them. And like one of my mom's favorite sayings, which I think whenever I talk about things my parents say and do, they're like, oh, it makes sense why you are the way you are. But my mom would often say, love me or hate me, but don't ignore me. I feel like that's like with books, you know, they're like, I feel passionately angry about this, or I feel passionate love for this. And other books, I'm like, I forgot I read that.
It's no good. Yeah, I think I'd rather like hate one than have it be very like, also, because then at least like there's a reaction.
Yeah. I hate read. It's just like
there is content. Yeah. People like seeing you be angry, you know.
Yeah.
So it can be fun. Yeah, my reading year has been kind of whatever. I mean, I've had some good. It's just been kind of whatever, not necessarily because of the books I've been reading. I mean, I've had a fair amount of middle of the road, but I feel like I always do. Like in the 3 range is kind of always my like average every year. But I've just like been borderline slumpy kind of all year. Like not really, but like just kind of. I've been like my per month like average is way lower this year than before. Like I'm only at 42 books read currently. And I mean, I don't know what I'll end up at, but I've just been lollygagging, I feel like, with reading. So it's been all right.
I feel like this isn't actually true if I go and look at what I've read, but my like emotional impression of my reading year is that, because I've been doing a lot of rereads. So my impression of this year is that the rereads have been great and everything else has been meh or bad. And I know that that's not true, because I know I have read some new books this year, or at least new to me, that I did love. You know, I have a favorites of the year list building, but I just, when I look at my Goodreads, I'm like, oh yeah, I reread that and that was good, because yeah, that's why I reread it. But everything else, I'm just like, forgot I read that. No, really, I really hated that. So like I would say it's like a bad reading year, because to me, if it's a reread, I kind of delete that from how I assess the year, because like that's not a new experience. That's not part of my reading year. That's just like something that I also did this year.
Yeah, I always take my rereads if they're in my like top 10 faves. I always take them out to like get my actual like new faves this year because I'm like that's not fair. I do a lot of rereading. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, the first half of the reading year was really strong, like crushing it. I was in the mood to read, I was reading things I liked. And then in preparation for my first trip post COVID, my anxiety spiked so much that I've been like trying to get the momentum back ever since, I feel like. And I feel like I'm just starting to feel normal again with reading. But last year was such a mid reading year for me. Like it felt like, okay, everything's fine. I had some things I really liked and some things I really didn't, but it was just like, it felt very meh. So this year feels a lot better, at least than last year did. So, because I definitely have some books that I like have loved.
Yeah. Well, that's an improvement.
Yeah, I did find, I mean, I found one this year that I read the arc and loved and then reread it when I got the physical, like actual copy when it was published. So like a new fave that I've already reread once. So, I mean, that's yay.
At least there's
like there's been like a couple of really highs. What?
It was that Sarah J. Maas release, right?
Perfect.
Totally how did you know? No,
I'm trying to think if I've actually read anything twice this year that like within this year that I've read twice, and I actually have read something twice this year as well.
I have not.
I read an Allie Hazelwood twice this year.
Nice. That's fun. That's
Love on the Brain,
Jess.
No, you want to talk about this? Is painful to me that I have this summer reading project going on my Patreon, and eventually it'll be on my channel, but one of the books is Love on the Brain, and the wait at the library is so long that they did this to me. I did not suggest this, Mara.
People, if she did not like Love Hypothesis, she will not like Love on the Brain.
I think
it's a very similar book.
Well, because I love Iran, and I was like, y'all don't love me. Anyway, I had to buy it, and it hurt my heart. So
there's more sex in it. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
We'll see. Somebody, then I'm just gonna like do a giveaway for the book or something because I don't want it, or I probably won't. I don't buy many romance books in general. Like I have to want to read it.
Maybe it's just gonna hit you
exactly
right, and you're gonna be like, I am loving these tiny, A-cups. I'm loving this gigantic eggplant. I am into this.
This could be the biggest turnaround of all time. We don't know.
I'm gonna manifest that for you.
Wait and see. I mean, I'm always when I go into a book, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hate this, and then I don't. I'm first mad, and then I'm glad.
I don't think that your instinct is to be angry, and if you can't be angry, well, then you're angry that you're not angry.
Yeah, I'm like, excuse me, I should be pissed off already.
It's like you had scheduled anger in for this, so one way or another, you're gonna be angry.
I've got to get it out somewhere. Worst book you've read so far this year? I'll go first. Book of Night, Holly Black. Trash. Terrible. Sorry.
Wait, I need more information than that.
Oh, Book of Night by Holly Black. Okay.
I've heard just everyone say that it's like
It's like, and it's so weird that it's my least favorite because it's so bland, but like I didn't DNF it because it was like a review for my patrons. It is so terrible. Like it reads like a first draft that was not edited. Like it was like ideas. And she was like, okay, after I'll put world building in here. After I'll give my characters a personality.
That was like a bracket. It was like insert world building.
Yes.
It was like, Kelly, it was like, where's your copy editor? Someone
do more than give character a name. And it was all left out. And I was just
Holly Black found out that her manuscript went to print. She was like, no, I was still working on that.
Like, oh, I thought you meant to send to publish. Yeah, they sent that to print. Wait, it just the entire time I was like, it was terrible. I'm so because the premise it had like you're like, okay, when I first started, I'm like, okay, this could be cool. And it
nope. Yeah, I unhauled the fancy. I said I didn't like the special editions, but the Illumi, was it the Fairy Loot or
Fairy Loot? Yeah,
the adult one. I got it for like 3 months. I canceled it, but I got that one. I'm just like I just unhauled it. I'm not gonna keep it.
They had so many editions for that book because It's Holly Black.
Holly
And I'm
Well, it's
like,
all the same though, just with like different colors.
yeah, they were all
Same
black,
cover.
like sparkles.
The one the Fairy one did have a really cool naked hardcover though.
Yes, it is.
I do
Black.
appreciate that.
I
Yes.
didn't want to keep the book, so.
Shoshana, your
House of Sky and Breath by Sarah
what?
J. Maas. Just,
Really?
just garbage.
I didn't
Like
realize you didn't
800
like that
plus
one.
pages of hot garbage.
Did you love the first one, or do you
What was
just
the first one? And I reread the first one prior to starting this one, like to get whatever, and I still
Revved
loved it.
up.
Like it holds up. Oh my god, it was still such a fun. Just like it's. I mean, it's not like high quality like writing on a craft level either, but it's like Sarah J. Maas fun that like I'm here for. I'm like love it. Have issues with it, but like it's fun time.
I mean, it's hot garbage, but it's hot. So
It's not though. It's not. It wasn't even
slogan.
hot. It was. Oh, I can't. I just need.
it was
to
cold
not.
garbage.
Yeah.
Shoshana has a whole
Trying to
video.
go.
Is it an hour? An
So
hour?
What?
You should watch it. Your hour.
Oh, yeah,
is it
my
like an
video?
hour?
Yeah, it's an hour of nothing positive about that book.
Go watch
like,
it. Get popcorn.
Not a single positive word was. I was so mad right from the jump with the book because of how it started off. Because we have the characters. They're in the first book, and there's the romance, and are they gonna? And they fool around once, but then they never actually like get together. But they like realize they feel, and they like towards the end, there's like massive declarations of like, I will die for you. I will sell myself into slavery to save your life. Okay, like clearly feelings are there, right?
I don't think I love anybody
Is the
that
blue
much.
cover of the
No,
second one meant to? Is the blue cover of the second
my
one meant to
mom?
indicate
No.
the sort of blue balled situation that we're starting with?
Maybe, but the reason for it drove me nuts because in the first book, this main character is like sexually liberated, like call me a slut, I don't care, I'm doing what I want, I'm having fun, and I was like, heck yeah, you go, girl, like you do what you want, just like freely being promiscuous because she wanted to, and like that's what she wanted to do with her life, and I was like, cool, yeah, that's good for you. And then in this one, she's like, we must wait until X amount of months to get to know each other because otherwise it won't mean anything. Our relationship won't be important if we have sex too soon. And I was like, who are you though? And like, I don't like this message. I hate this message of like,
I'm just gonna say, if you start your relationship by using sex as a bargaining chip, like you're never gonna get over that
relationship. Because I've had so many girlfriends like say these kinds of things to me, like, I'm gonna wait, I want to sleep with him now on the second date,
It's too
but
early.
I'm gonna wait until the third or fourth so that he'll respect me.
Like,
he does not respect you then. That's not respect. What in the actual, I can't. So I was so mad, like chapter 1, and I was ranting and raving to Ingrid and Roger already. They were both like, oh, I didn't even catch, like, I'm not that mad. I'm like, I'm like livid already. So that it was just bad from there.
ooh.
And it took them a while to catch up to the level of like anger and hatred I had, but they eventually got there too. Like, yeah, this is trash. It just
That's
is
a lot of pages.
It needed at least like 400 pages cut out of it also. Like Miss Sarah Janet
That's just
needs
standard for a Sarah J. Maas.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
That
track.
comes with a
thing,
free
right?
extra 400 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it could have been an okay read, I think, had like about 400 pages been cut out of it. Even then I don't think I would have like liked it because of so many things. There's an hour-long video. But yeah, worst book. One of the worst books I've ever read in my whole life. So yeah. It's truly, truly terrible.
I have a guess what Leanna's gonna say.
I know exactly what Leanna's gonna say.
Well, I almost forgot what I was going to say. I was almost going to have to post another apology video because when you said rapid fire, I was like, I know. And I was like, wait, no, that was your top one last time. And last time, no, that's because last time you forgot. Oh, you almost forgot again. So I remembered in time. Thank goodness Shoshana went first. So I remembered. Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami, which what did you think I was going to say, Jess?
For some reason, I thought you were going to say the cartographers or that other one, the science one that wasn't.
Oh, Lessons in Chemistry?
Yeah.
I mean, those were all terrible, but none of them could ever be as terrible as Norwegian Wood. Nothing in my life has ever been as terrible as Norwegian Wood. And it's even more traumatizing because it's a really highly praised, well-regarded, well-reviewed, widely recommended, lauded book. And I'm like, everyone who loves this book is a psycho. I don't understand how you can like it, but I'm also worried that you like it. Like,
no.
Concerned.
Because like
I feel
it's
like you could
genuinely one of the most offensive books I've ever read.
Why is it so offensive? Like what about, or is it like spoilery?
Well,
so, like,
I mean, it is spoiler. A lot of it is really, really spoilery and like really intensely specific. But like as like a casual example, and I say casual because the book mentions this in passing very casually, because it's about a student in Japan in college in like the the 60s, I think it is. It's like, it's present-ish, but like not the current day. And he's like, he's older now at the very beginning of the book, and he's like remembering his years in school. And when he talks about like his roommate and being in school, and there's hippies and there's political uprisings, and like that's the era. But he talks about like going out on the town and like, what kind of a cavalier jerk his roommate is that kind of rubs off on him. And they talk about going out on the town. And it's just one of those occasions where we casually mention a montage of what's been going on and how they both had ladies that night, and how the one that our main character was with, at first she put up a terrific fight, but eventually like she, they did it and we moved on. And that was just like just a quick sum up of like what's been going on, and we're back to the main plot. And I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? Especially because like everyone around the main character in the book acts like, wow, you just have this amazing way with words, and you're just such an amazing guy, and I just want to sleep with you because I'm a female and you're the main character. And I swear to God, he doesn't say anything ever. And they're like, you just have a way with words. I'm like, he didn't talk. Like, wait, with what words? Like, what?
The
What
perfect
are you
man
seeing and hearing
says
that
nothing.
The life just
dear.
sits there.
Well,
That's wild. Yeah.
But I mean, the truly offensive things are really spoilery, but there's like
It's
stuff involving children.
that
yeah,
it's like
it's
in
bad.
of it. Oh no, that in and of
It's
itself,
like-
though, that casual example is like not near the worst of it. Is quite telling.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Well,
it's
that's
not
saying
anywhere
it's
near the worst.
It's like
of
a HIPAA nightmare, from what Lana told me. Just put it that way.
Oh no.
And like, here's,
I
again,
guess
this is
it's
like
in Japan,
I
so they
can't
don't
like
have
tell you
HIPAA.
this, like it would be too much to explain the specifics of how we got to this point. But he has this another female friend, of course, one that's interested in sleeping with him, and there's lots of drama, and he's just helpless. All these women want him, but and there's like various personal traumas that have occurred, and like she's aware of his personal traumas and been there for him, and she has personal trauma, whatever. So like they're talking, and then she's just like, you know what, I can't hang out, and she like bounces, but she like hands him a note that she like wrote while they were like, he was like getting water or something. So like she wrote it like physically on the spot, and he gives him this note. And this note is like, I wanted to be there for you. Like, you've been there for me, but you didn't notice my hair. And so we can't be friends. And I never, ever, ever want to see you or speak to you again. And I was like, is this what Haruki Murakami thinks women are like? That this is what we think? That this is, and then
That's
our main
exactly
character
it.
who like, I mean, granted, if he had been pissed at her for that, I'd been like, fair play, because like, that's insane. But also, he doesn't even have a reaction. This is like his one friend right
He's
now,
like,
and she's like, I
okay.
never want to speak to you again, and he's just like has no reaction, like doesn't
He's
feel
like,
any kind
okay.
of way about this. And I was
He's
like,
bye.
Oh my God. I
again,
can't.
this book is widely lauded and,
Yeah, I've heard of it.
heralded as like great literature.
Oh my
Yikes.
God. By the way, your hair all looks lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I
Japan.
was gonna
I'm-
storm off if you didn't say anything.
I was
I was
going
pretty-
to never
I wanna
talk to you
Still
again.
be friends, so I just felt like I should tell you.
Yeah, everybody's hair is on point.
Oh my God, that's so freaking wild. Sounds
And
fun.
again, like I haven't even shared the like truly disturbing parts because like it would be too much to explain, and it is also extremely spoilery and really disturbing. And we don't want to get demonetized because that's like
But
the whole point
don't
of like
read the
chair
book.
honey going.
Yeah.
I feel like Leanna suffered so that none of us have to, but from what she told me, I was like, this, no, never.
No.
Because like it's one thing to have. I mean, it's just that conversation of like problematic stuff in a book, or like a character doing something problematic, but like, what are we saying about it here?
Yeah.
Like,
You're right. And
It's not
again, like I like
exactly-
reading books about like morally gray characters, and I was like, if this was a deep dive character study into a guy that's like kind of a piece of shit, but like it's interesting, like if following his like kind of awful life where he does kind of awful things and he doesn't have great reasons for it, that could still be really interesting if it's like, if it's
There's a
treated
point.
as the morally gray thing that it is and not rewarded by the narrative, and it's just like, here's the slice of life of an asshole. Like that could be a good book, but he's not even interesting. Like he's literally not a character. Like he doesn't react. He just gets women sleeping with him, and they tell him horrifying things, which again I can't share because we don't get demonetized. horrifying things, and he has no reaction to it. Just like no
wow,
thought in
that's
his
wild.
head. Just
He says it with his eyes.
apparently.
Just staring.
Ugh.
I love it. Yeah, definitely reread.
Yeah, don't.
Mara.
Let's- Leanna took one for the team
Oh,
first.
I would also just very quickly like to say that I saw a different review say this, and I was like, "That's a great point." They're like they should have realized early on the problem with this book when it was clear that Haruki Murakami did not understand that the wood in the song Norwegian Wood was furniture and not a forest. And that he's named his book Norwegian Wood, and he doesn't get what that song is about.
Love it.
So the worst book I read, I DNF'd. That was the Atlas 6. But the worst book that I finished was The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. It's so bad.
Yeah, I read that last year.
No interest in either of those whatsoever.
I still want to read the Atlas 6, but I'm very nervous.
Well,
I have that
I-
for my like chaotic reading first and last chapter only. That one is like in the next round that I want to do.
God,
Because I have no
fucking me
interest.
out.
the only way you should read this book, in my opinion.
Wait, the
It's just
Maidens
the
or
writing
Atlas?
is so bad.
In the
And-
Atlas 6?
Yeah, I think if you can vibe with the writing, you're probably okay. But the writing is so bad.
Yikes.
It-
But
Did you
it's like
read
imagine
the
like
self-published
she.
one or the Tor one?
I haven't got the Tor one. It's terrible. It's just like I don't really know how to explain the way that it's bad other than it's just painfully over described. Like it's painfully overwritten. And I think it thinks it's being clever and deep and it's being neither. And so that I found insufferable. So I just DNF'd it because life is short. But I finished The Maidens because I don't know. I'm more okay finishing a bad thriller for some reason. And it's just
does the
it
curiosity get you?
well, I can get through them pretty quickly. Like I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm more willing to just go with it. But the writing was so overdramatic. Writing is a big thing for me. But it was like every chapter ended with like dun dun dun. It would be like, and so then I walked in, and there he was in chapter. Like that was every single chapter, and it felt so manipulative and so just like bad. I thought that the twist itself was good, but it made no sense, so it wasn't
Made
good.
no
Like it was
sense whatsoever.
interesting, it was entertaining, but it made the entire book make no sense. And I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like all of the critiques I could list here in a book where I was having fun, or I could just roll with it and like whatever, it doesn't make sense, but that's fine. But the writing kept me from being able to fully get into it. So then I was forced to think about the ways that the characters didn't make sense and the plot holes. Similarly to The Cartographers. That was also my problem with that book of like, if I was having fun right now, I wouldn't be thinking about this, but I'm not having fun. So I'm having to sit here and think about this.
I definitely enjoyed The Maidens more than The Cartographers. I don't think The Maidens is good, but I was like, I did like constantly want to turn the page. So like I felt like, like I read it quickly because I was like into it, but I was like, this isn't good. But like I'm like reaching the end very quickly.
Yeah, The Cartographers I felt like at least had interesting ideas, even if they were really badly executed. Like I at least was like, I don't know that I've read a speculative book quite like this before. Whereas The Maidens took like so many tropes that are not good and didn't do them well.
Just fumbled the bag.
I don't know. I like The Silent Patient, but I did not like The Maidens.
Usually, I've seen that people who like The Silent Patient didn't like The Maidens and vice versa, because I did not like The Silent Patient and I like The Maidens.
Oh.
I read The Silent Patient after I read The Maidens, and I was like, this is kind of the same thing. I was like, he just only knows how to write one kind of book.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe that was part of it too, as I read The Silent Patient first, so like I kind of knew his thing already a little bit.
Could be.
Oh yeah.
I was down for the drama, but you also read a lot more mystery thrillers than I do, and I don't usually. So I was like, oh, I mean, like if I think back on it, I think I like rounded up to a 4.
That's fine. I'm glad
But,
you
you
enjoyed
know.
it more than I did.
It's sad.
Well, I think that if people weren't bothered by the writing, they would have liked it a lot more than I did. But the writing really bothered me, so therefore I couldn't get into it.
That's
I
fine.
realized I just finished my like round 3 vlog of like deep diving into like more fantasy romance stuff. And I've realized that like I just don't think I'll ever be like considered any kind of like romance reader, because like I need more than like just like fun times romance. Like the plot like needs to be more of a fantasy plot going on, and like
Grace
the
Draven.
writing. What? Yes, exactly.
Grace
that.
Draven.
Have you read The Wolf and the Whale?
I have it. I saw it today, Mara, and I was
It's
like, oh, I
so
should grab
good.
that one, and I grabbed a different one, a shorter one to like just get through.
It
But I want to check that out. But yeah,
it reads really quickly.
I had one though that I DNF'd from. I mean, I had several. I DNF'd 50% of the fantasy romance books I read throughout these 3 vlogs. So
Well, there you go.
not great stats. But the last one that I tried was a DNF, and it same thing where like that actually might have been like the worst of the year, except I DNF'd at like 4%. I was like, nope,
What book?
Yeah.
can't. Wildest Dreams by Kristen Ashley.
I don't know why.
Kristen Ashley is
God.
a trip, man.
I could not.
I would not
overwritten-
recommend Kristen Ashley to anyone, but I can't deny that there's like I've tried a couple of series where I was like, this is terrible, but I can't stop reading it. So I do
couldn't
not
get
recommend it.
past that. I couldn't get past the initial over description of every single piece of clothing every
yes.
single character was wearing. I was
And
like
it's
literally
all,
2
like,
pages to describe one man's outfit.
Yeah.
Who, what, why? No.
Well,
and then the
also,
inner monologue.
Like, imagine she's describing clothing that somebody is wearing in 2022, but it looks like it was from like 2005. Like it's all horribly out of fashion clothing that she is describing in meticulous detail.
It's so
for no
this one was
reason.
like Victorian or like whatever. And then the character like gets transported. It's like a portal realm thing, and she gets transported to this portal realm and is wearing like a whole like corseted with stays and a train dress, and doesn't realize she's wearing it until she catches a glimpse of herself in the mirror. And then stands there staring at herself for like 2.5 pages while people are banging on this door being like, come out. And she's like, oh, I should probably check that. Oh God. I'm like, yeah, you think? And she's supposed to be 30 years old, and we're in her head, and she constantly is saying crap like, holy moly, wow. It's like this like gee willikers. And then the next page she'll be like, F this shit. I'm like, what? Who are you? Like,
it's not good. It is bad.
That
so
no thank you.
I was in physical pain, and I was like, I was like, maybe I'll try to get to like 10%. I'll try. And then I got like a couple more pages, and I was like, nope.
Golly,
I assure you that would have been the worst book of the year. Like it would have made the Sarah J. Maas read like Shakespeare.
The amount of times she said, no freaking way. That's freaking crazy. Or then one time literally going, whoa, wow. And it's not like dialogue. This is like in the text, like her just thinking in her head. I'm like, I hate you. What? I can't. Oh
wowzers.
Jeez. And then being like, F this. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, good thing you DNF that, because you would have not had a good time with the rest of that. Any very popular releases this year that y'all have read but you didn't like?
Probably.
Leanna's
I would just also like to take a brief break to tell people who are going to be offended by our unpopular opinions or negative opinions that I hated one of the books that Mara loves and made me read this year, and we are friends. And I recently filmed a video in which I recommended the Atlas 6, and we are still friends.
Did you read the Atlas 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that you had. You liked it?
I did, but I also went into it expecting it to be like, I was like, this is a trashy TikTok book. So this is going to be a book that like, I at best can expect some like vibes. And so when I read it, I was like, this is surprisingly good.
Oh, well, there's hope for me. This was very interesting.
Wow.
And it did keep surprising. I kept thinking that I had it pegged. I was like, okay, but now I think I know where this is going, and I think I know what you're doing. And then it kept surprising me. I was like, oh, that is a twist that I did not see coming. I'm like, okay, but now I think I know where this is going. And I'm like, nope, didn't see that coming. No, I still don't know where this is going.
I'm planning to have Olivia October because I have bought so many of her books and haven't read a single one. Hopefully I have my books by.
I didn't know she had other books.
I mean, I think of myself as a raccoon. Like, I'm a connoisseur of trash. And I just didn't feel like it. I felt like it was not trashy enough to actually be fun for me. Like, I
was delighted that it was not that trashy.
Well, I wanted to be like campy. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the line that I enjoy of like, okay, this is just dumb and fun. Like, I'm having a good time, and it's not that. I don't think.
That. Oh God, I am so intrigued now. On the topic of TikTok books, I read the first Zodiac Academy book.
I want to read that just because you hated it so much.
And
I don't think I can do that one now.
I want my time back. It was when people maybe because I don't
aren't
think
those books like really long too?
I don't. I read it on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't remember how long. I don't feel like it took me a long time to get through it because it's not like complicated writing or anything, but I read it on my Kindle. I don't remember.
The font is like 20-point font.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I've read a bully romance, and that's what people are like, bully, even though there's no romance. There's just bullying. There's a difference. I'm like,
that's not hot.
It's like different if like, when something's dislike to love, it's rarely hate to love, right? Or enemies to lovers, whatever. And they just have like these banter, they do stupid little things to each other, whatever. But I'm sorry, like trying to kill me, sexually assaulting me is not funny, and you're not coming back from it. I don't care how cute.
What's a little attempted murder between lovers?
What? No. Just no big
was he cute?
Was he hot?
Was he over 6 foot?
That's what they care about.
Have you guys seen probably my favorite video on YouTube, which is Jenny Nicholson's like, I have found the worst book that there is. And she like reads this self-published romance novel about a girl falling in love with an internet troll. And the book is called Troll. And like, there's a point at which where like, like he's like invaded her home and he's like dangerous. And like he falls asleep and the girl thinks to herself, like, should I leave? And she's like, yes, you should. She's like, not to victim blame, but like, you had your chance to leave. You didn't take it.
When she finally does escape, this is a side note, but when he finally does escape, he like runs to the window and like presses his face against it and is like, I will find you, my love. Like it is. And he's like singing some sort of old Bobby Darin song.
He has I forget his like internet handle is like Genius One or something, but then he immediately tells her his real name and it's like Justin, and she's like, a name that set my pulse racing, and she was like, I don't want to offend anyone named Justin, but it's just Justin.
Not that great.
Exotic.
That is so funny.
Also, he does a sexy striptease for her after he hacks her webcam. So
wow.
I did buy and read that book just from Jenny's recommendation
for science.
Well, just
so Zodiac Academy looking better compared to that.
Yes, well, this is what I mean. I am a raccoon.
I would have to bump if I had to compare it to that. I would have to bump Zodiac Academy up, but I just couldn't because I knew where I think there's like 6 or 7 more books, and I was in like a book from the dude's POV, and I was like, in my mind, I could never forgive them to see them as love interest. And also the main character girls are twins, but they read like the same character. Like I'm like, who you are the same. You just have a different
aren't the same person? What?
Oh, what? I was like, who is this? Who's POV? I don't remember. I don't know who this is. And world building? Who? We don't know her. So yeah, I mean,
can't people like bully or like Pestilence by what's her name. I was like, I DNF'd it. I was like, I absolutely cannot with this. Like,
I did like that because it was just weird. Like, I don't know that I've ever read.
I was mad at that before he even started torturing her because of the stupid stupid plan at the beginning. He's literally one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and we're like, everybody's been trying to kill him across the land, and like people are freaking out. He's coming, oh my god, and they keep trying to bomb him or set him on fire, and he's not dying. And then these
in the context of this book, to say that he's coming, I think you need to explain that
he's on his way there.
That's later.
He's on his way there. He's riding his little horse, and he's coming through all these towns, and he's just spreading pestilence. And then these dummies are like, oh, one of us we'll kill him with a shotgun. Yeah. I'm like, what the freaking, who thought that was a good idea? Who thought
a solid plan?
I didn't like it as a romance, but just as like the sheer like bizarreness of trying to make a horseman of the apocalypse a romantic hero.
I couldn't.
I did just enjoy that as an experiment.
I couldn't do it. Like dragging her behind his horse, like through the dirt and crap. I'm like, what? And now you're supposed to end up together? Absolutely not.
But you know, while he's doing it, she's looking at him like he is over 6 foot tall.
I can make an exception.
We could do that. I can make this work.
I could not.
That made me think of a romance that I read where I didn't feel like they really should have been together, but overall I like enjoyed it, but I had issues. But my biggest issue was that he named his penis Charlie, and he would refer to it, and I was like, it wouldn't be just like I got hard, and we're like, and Charlie was rising up in my
oh no. Oh,
that's like the least sexy
only
thing.
acceptable.
It just like
the only acceptable name for a member is Princess Sophia.
Yes, Princess Sophie is the only one.
Charlie. Why? That was dating Dr. Dill, and I was like, you're a grown man, you're a heart surgeon, and you named your member.
But I would really love it if then, like, does the love interest know that his name's Charlie?
I don't. Does she call it Charlie too?
Because if she does, I would like her when she's upset for her to be like Charles.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just feel like that's like the least sexy thing. Maybe not the least sexy thing, but that was a lady boner killer for me at least. Yeah. Like if I found that out, I would just be like, I don't know that I can ever touch Charlie again. Like this is not doing it for me.
I could not.
No. It's not cute.
No, thank you.
I'm trying to think of, because we were originally, I keep trying to think in between talking about new releases that I read that I didn't like.
Yeah, I'm so bad.
Cartographers is probably the one that was popular that I hated, but I feel like a lot of people hated that. So
which one you said? I'm sorry.
The Cartographers.
Oh, okay.
By King Shepherd.
Was this year? Yes. Oh, yes. But nobody else has read it. I need somebody to freaking read this book. Walhalla by Nikki May.
I've seen that cover so many times, and I just like,
dude, it was compulsively readable, and it's the way it's marketed. I'm like, what is this? Is it supposed to be a thriller, a mystery, like a domestic thriller, or just like a women's fiction, which whatever that means? Like, I don't know. And it's like 4 friends, well, 3 friends, and then a 4th mysterious lady in the synopsis. Like, she comes in and like, ooh, stuff gets just thrown into tumult. Their lives are just in chaos because of this glamorous new friend. And oh my god, just the most trash people. Just if you like mess, read this book. Read Walhalla by Nikki May. Mess with, there is a mystery. Like at the very beginning, you're like, oh, we're in a scene. It's like 1 page. The prologue is like, there's a person wearing a wrap dress type thing, and there's a presumably dead person, and the woman, it seems, is holding like a blunt object, and then it's like, I called the police, and so you're like, wait, what? Somebody died? Who killed? And you don't know, and that's it. And then it starts off with like chapter by chapter following these women, and so you're like, who's the dead? Who do they end up killing? Who killed them? You know, there is that mystery, but then like once you get to the mystery like resolution, it's all just very like fast, and you're like, it's done and over with. And I'm like, wait, that was not very satisfying. But also just, the lead up to it, the two of the 3 like original best friends are literally some of the most infuriating characters I've ever read. I was listening to it on audio, and I kept like shouting out loud, like just cursing their names. And the one friend did not deserve her. She was the only good one. But yeah, it's just mess and drama and like chaos. So I want someone to read it to like commiserate with me about how awful they are. But nobody's read it.
As Mara said, I too love mess. So you may have to get that one from the
Man,
library and
it's a
vent
lot
to
of
you about it.
But it's almost like I was annoyed because again that thing of like what are we saying about this, where it was like initially like one of the women was married and had a little like 4-year-old or something and was kind of in a place of like I don't like my life anymore, like kind of resentful of being like a wife and a mother and like not having her own life. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's a mess. That's a thing that happens and we can talk about it. But then she has like the best husband ever. Just a delight of a man who's trying to be like supportive, but like does little dumb things that annoy her, like leaving the toilet seat up and she has to keep telling him. And I'm like, I mean, that can be annoying, but then she like doesn't like actually express to him how much it's upsetting her that she's like building all this resentment up. She just is like internally doing it and then just does the most heinous things where I'm like, and it's written in a way where I'm like, am I supposed to like be on her side? Because I kind of hate her and I hope her husband leaves her and takes the child and she never sees them ever again because she is trash. And the other one too, like, just and the way it was being framed was like they're justified in this like just shitty behavior. I was like, I can't.
I wasn't going to talk about this next, but you saying like, am I supposed to root for this? Like, is exactly the experience of reading the Darling Girl, the Peter Pan. It's not even a retelling. It's because it's like a sequel. It's like a Lifetime movie thriller that was like, what if Peter Pan also in there? It's horrendous. And like the main character who's a mother is a terrible mother. And like at all times in this book, I was like, you're the worst. Also, you're dumb. Like she's like a science lady and like the author clearly did not research anything because like she's like, where's the lab coat? And like proteins are mentioned. And like that's the science. Yes. Because like literally her son reaches into the oven while she's like making chicken and potatoes for dinner. Like, you know, two separate things are being made for dinner. And he reaches in the oven to take a potato out to eat it before it's ready. And he's like, I know, salmonella. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, no, potatoes do not actually have salmonella. And you're like a doctor lady in this book. That's not why she's a bad mom. That's why she's an idiot. But she's also a terrible mother. Like yeah, I mean, it's really spoilery and specific, but like she has 2 kids and one of them is alive and on life support. And the other one is the son who's going to get salmonella from potatoes. And he was 5 years old when like the accident occurred that made the other one have to be on life support. But he's been told his whole life that he doesn't have a sister. Like, and you're telling me he doesn't remember? Like he was 5 years old when this happened. / also, why would you gaslight your child like that? That is horrible. Like,
yeah, also,
why?
like
why would you do this?
Horribly damaging.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But also Peter Pan is involved in this story. So yay for that. Oh, I would just like to say that this lady, who's a descendant of Wendy Darling, she owns Darling Cosmetics. And they sell a product called Pixie Dust. Because of course, this is a Lifetime movie. That's what you'd expect.
That does feel very Lifetime movie.
Oh, wow. That's good.
I don't like it when there's like, the thing of like characters like that are like bad moms, but like not really a reason, or like we're not saying anything about it, or it's almost like I feel like you're just like you're excusing this, or like no, but she like this, and it's like
I feel like you are supposed to like root for her. Like I think you're supposed to root for her in this story, and the thing is, I mean, the only thing that's worse than her is Peter Pan because he's an essayer in it, which is delightful.
Yikes!
So compared to that, I guess I root for her. Is if it's between the 2 of them, but like
I'm gonna agree. A dumb bad mother, I'll take over an essayer.
Yeah.
But she's like, she takes dumb and bad mother to a whole new level. Like that's the level of bad he had to be for you to be like, I guess I'm on her side.
Yeah. I mean, spoilers for everything, but that's why I freaking hated that book, because the ending where I was like, we're kind of brushing over this real intense like abuse here. What the frick? And we're just like, well, going to therapy now, so it's fine. I'm like, I think there would be a bit more of an impact from this information. I was so mad.
Stop thinking rationally, Shoshana. Come on.
Dare. I don't think I've read any other like new.
I'm so bad at reading front lists, but I'm like looking at my Goodreads and realizing so many of the books I didn't like this year are like Mars face.
Oh no. That's
Jess. It's
Like the Inheritance games.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't love that one, but I liked it.
I have it. I haven't read it yet.
At
I
first,
love
was
that
like, okay,
author.
this is
So
fun.
I'm like,
I just saw it compared to the Westing game, which I loved. That was like a favorite book when I was a kid. So I was like, well, I like that.
Yeah.
it's way more of a romance than I think. I think the first book, at least, is very much like a YA romance setup. So I don't know. I've got the next 2 books. I'm excited to see what happens because she did the YA love triangle actually really well in a different series. So like I have faith that she can make it work. But I'm not like devastated by that. I could see why people wouldn't like it.
Yeah. I was like, first I was like, okay, this is cool. And ooh, I love, again, premise. Really fun. But then I was like, these clues are getting, these boys, cannot deal.
The boys are,
Oh, I DNF'd the Merciless Ones, which was a sequel to the Gilded Ones by Nina Kuhn.
I haven't even read the Gilded Ones. I wanted to. Oh,
I liked it.
What
Clearly,
happened?
I pre-ordered the second one, but
What is it? A duology? A trilogy?
no, it's gonna be a trilogy. There's a third one coming out.
What happened?
I just was like, it felt weird. I don't know. The first book I liked, but I didn't love it. But I was like, okay, I'm curious about what's happening, and cool. And then the sequel, I felt like it was like discombobulated, I guess is the best way I can describe it. Very discombobulated. Those books are brutal, by the way. Like graphic violence. Like, and it like there's one thing that it's not on page, but it's mentioned, like referenced, that this is a thing that happened to one of the characters, because the premise is there are girls born with gold blood who like almost can't be killed. They each have like one true death, like a way that actually will kill them. But like if you don't know what it is, and they're like people are afraid of them and don't like them and like whatever. So the villagers, when they find a girl with gold blood, will like figure out how to give her a true death. So they just torture them and like kill them in various ways. Because like you can behead someone and their like head will go back to their body. And like magic, I don't know. And so they'll just like do all these different things of like, is this gonna kill her? Is this gonna kill her? Until they figure out the way that kills them. And one girl was sold into a brothel as a child for patrons to utilize, and the people who wanted to murder a girl could murder a girl. Yeah, I was like, what? It's terrible. Like the book isn't terrible, but like the brutality is truly
it sounds kind of like the premise.
I'm like telling people because I'm like, I don't know if people understand.
Yeah,
that's kind of like how Westworld, except Westworld, it's a robot at least. But like that's what in Westworld. They're like, if your fantasy is to like have your way with like a maiden of the West and then shoot her, well, it's a robot, so you can't.
It's a girl. It's just a real girl, a teenager.
Oh dear. Oh, Mara, I found another one. Oh, maybe you didn't love this one, but you just liked this one.
We're trying to break my heart. Okay.
Before you go to bed. It was the Final Girl Support Group by Grady.
Now, I know that a lot of people didn't enjoy that one, but I just thought it was fun, and I love his writing. I find his writing just so readable.
It is very readable. Like, I remember reading Southern, that long title, and like was like, God dang, I'm flying through this.
Yeah.
But that whoever the POV, Linda, whatever her name is, who's
I liked
her. Plant.
Yes, I felt for her. Because that is how I would respond if I had been through that. Would be like extreme paranoia.
I was like, girl,
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. That was shame on me. You ain't gonna get me a third time, mother effer. Like
she was driving me up a wall. And then I think this is this book. I could be confusing with something else, but the scene where a woman who is in hospice is taken from hospice.
Yeah.
And then left in like a field or like in a.
That's part of what I like about his female characters is that they're like not idealized at all. Like his characters do crappy things to people, and it's just like, they're kind of crappy people.
Yeah, did you read the My Best Friend's Exorcism?
Yes.
Did you like it?
That was my least favorite of the ones I've read.
I don't think I'm going to read that one. It's getting an adaptation. I'm going to watch it.
Oh, I
was
could
that
see it being
one?
a good adaptation. Do you know what you should try from him? Try Horror Store. It's
Is
short.
it the IKEA-ish one?
Yeah, it was short and it was very cinematic. Like, it's not my favorite of what I've read from him because I don't know that there was enough meat on the bones with it,
Mhm.
but it was really just like very entertaining.
Yeah. He has
Yeah.
another one, something called
What's
like
the one with
something
like
about
the
a house.
magazine
We
cover?
sold our souls. I have
Yeah.
that.
I
I'm gonna read that in
hate that
October.
cover. Every time I see it, it makes me want to
I
punch
got
it.
the hardcover just so I didn't have to get that one.
It's like
Of
it's
which one?
such.
Of We Sold Our Souls?
Yeah, let me
Yes.
show you that.
It looks like a magazine. Like I get the point, but I'm like, oh god.
Oh,
it's
is it
so
already? I thought it came out next year for some reason.
Yeah, here you go.
Ooh.
This is the.
better.
I got
Looks cool.
this specifically because I could not deal with the magazine. But look, it's
That
got
looks
black.
like season 4 of Stranger Things, is what that reminds me of.
Yeah, it's
That is
like
my-
a death metal group horror situation.
Okay,
So
Stranger
this,
Things.
this is not the other cover.
Yeah, that one. I hate it.
This is
I hate that.
terrible.
I think it was Self Pub originally.
Like it's supposed to look like a
Oh.
magazine cover or whatever, but it's not. Like who?
I think I've
don't
seen that
want
before, and I did not realize that was a book. I thought it was a magazine, and I just like didn't pay attention to it.
Hey,
Wow.
did any of you? This just randomly made me think of it because you showed the hardcover of it with like the different cover. Have any of you read A Dowry for Blood and liked it or no?
No,
I've
but I
never
need to
heard
read
of
it because I've
that.
heard
I
it's
loved
great.
Read it, and my
I
life has
hate the new
changed.
cover.
But yeah, I'm gonna get it because I want a hardcover of it. But I don't love that new cover.
That I was like, why
Please,
couldn't
let's
y'all
read
just
some.
taken
it's
this
not
art?
terrible, but I don't. It's like I
It-
like the original cover better. I'm like,
it's
couldn't we have
terrible.
jazzed this up, put a little foil on it, maybe
It-
added a little color to
Exactly.
the
Like,
original cover?
I want to know how they decide that because, like Travis Baldry, the Legends and Lattes, I'm pretty sure I saw that was keeping its original cover, even though it got acquired by Tor.
Oh, that is
Yeah, that is.
horrible.
Right,
Yeah.
the new one. It's not like.
That
Do you
new
see the
cover
original?
is awful.
The original one is so
Yes,
good,
the
and like
original
you
is
could have just.
amazing.
I don't know what book you guys are talking
A
about.
Dowry of Blood
Dowry of
by
Blood.
A Dowry of Blood?
S.T. Gibson.
Yeah,
S.T.
Yeah.
Gibson.
it's oh my god! I just finished it, and I was like,
I loved it
Blown
so
away.
much, and I was like,
from the
"Oh,
introduction, I was like,
so
oh, God.
excited!"
Wait, so the new cover that y'all hate is like black with a woman with a red slash.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but compared to
I
the
hate
original,
it.
like why we
Yes,
like
it is.
watered this down so much.
Yeah, the original was so evocative and like
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I
like
don't know, I
both.
felt like it set a mood.
Okay, the Grady Hendrix book I was thinking of was not that one. It's the one that
Oh, How
comes
to
out next
Sell-
year. That's called How to Sell a Haunted House.
I have an arc of it, so I will report back.
I like
Um,
Southern Vampire's Guide by him, but I have not. I don't know. I don't read horror very much, so I'm
That's
just
the only
like,
one I've read.
I
Yeah.
don't care to pick
I
up.
like that he's so like his horror is entertaining. Like it's
Yeah, it was
fun.
compulsive. I read it like,
Yeah, I'm still traumatized by the rats.
oh god,
Yeah, that was a lot.
yeah, terrible.
Yeah, that was a
What?
lot.
And the
I
attic
think
scene.
I like block those out because usually when I hit that part of a horror novel, I'm like, yeah, okay.
I
I
was
think
kinda
I
like
read it.
this. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I think I
can't.
read it before watching Blade 2, and when I saw Blade 2, I was like, this is what inspired Grady Hendrix's like vampire design. Like this is literally as soon as have you guys seen Blade 2?
I don't
The
think I
second
have.
Blade movie? Because that's the one's directed by Guillermo del Toro, so it has a lot of like monster like creature design because it's Guillermo del Toro, and the way that like this like new kind of vampire looks, it's like the thing in Southern Book Club's Guide. It's like literally that.
Oh, Jess, you're muted.
Oh, when he described like when he would bite and like the thing that came.
Oh
Yeah, it's like in
I
Blade
think it's gonna be a
2.
really good movie. Although, actually, no, because I don't want to see the attic scene. I don't want to see the rats, and I don't. Never mind.
Yeah,
don't-
no. But so try Horror Story, Jess. See how you
Okay.
do with that. Because I think Southern Book Club is probably his best book.
Which I liked way more. I had some issues with it, but final support somebody. No.
Yeah.
But Horror Story. Did you read it physically? Do you have to like?
It's
Is it
pretty fun.
visual thingies?
Yeah, I liked reading it physically because it's from Quark Books, so it has lots of fun illustrations and stuff, and it has lots of like materials for the IKEA-esque store. So it'll have like order forms that get more ominous as you go.
Ooh,
Like the
okay.
descriptions of the different like home goods get more intense.
Next time I go to Half Price,
That sounds
I'm
great.
gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it.
Recommend.
It's not a new release, but I read Dark Matter this year, and it was one of the dumbest things I've ever read in my life. I'm sorry if you like it.
Did you talk to Angela about it? Because she can't stand Dark Matter.
No, I haven't.
She would
I
love
did not
to hear
like
that.
what was Recursion? That's the only one I've read from him, and I did not like it at all.
I have no
Well,
intention.
yeah, I have Recursion, but everyone told me Dark Matter was better, and I read Dark Matter, and if that's better,
Don't want to touch Recursion.
Tori Morrow likes she likes Blake Crouch, and I mean the two books I read from I did too, but she liked Recursion more than Dark Matter. I liked Dark Matter. I did read it a while ago. I don't know if I reread it if I would still feel the same way.
I'm gonna try Upgrade because it's a different I have a hard sell on a time travel novel because I feel like usually people are trying to make it deeper than they're able to make it. Like,
yeah, I've heard Upgrade is
can wrestle with this.
I'm still waiting from the library, but I might just get impatient and buy it because I want to read it.
Which one?
Upgrade, his newest one, which is
I have
about
no interest in Blake Crouch.
like cell or something.
Yeah, it seemed like some sort of like genetic.
Yeah, something with
modification or
genetics and
something.
like, should we do things? Kind of pondering those kind of questions. So
I was trying to remember what I compared Dark Matter to when I like rated / reviewed it, and I said It's a Wonderful Life meets Primer, but make it stupid.
Ma'am.
Okay.
Primer is like one of the
How does
only
it feel,
things
Jess?
It hurts.
like you said, like time travel is usually something that's really like most people F it up, but Primer is like one of the only things that's ever done it. I don't want to say right, but like actually done it. I don't know, like actually thought through the implications of what they're proposing. And then I read Dark Matter. I was like, right, yeah, this is the dumb version of that. This is the one where they didn't get through.
Wait, this book that you did like was called Primer by.
It's a movie.
Oh, damn it! Darn
You
it!
can watch a movie. You're also allowed to watch
movies. I don't
The
watch.
Light Brigade by Cameron Hurley. I thought that was a good time travel one. It's one of the only ones I've read that I was like, this feels like it's not awful at having themes around time travel.
I love time travel. I just feel like I don't know. I don't
think I
find them
read
that
very much time travel stuff. I'm trying to think of any.
I don't have many, but
Oh, I read the Jane Austen Project a couple years ago, which was like a time travel.
Well, I feel like there's like two brands of time travel. There's time travel where like we just needed a reason to like get us to the time period we want this to take place. So then like it's not a book about time travel. It's just a book where time travel made it possible for this plot to happen versus a book that's about time travel. And any book that's like about time travel or a movie either
is a
like
harder
when they're
sell
like
for me.
They're usually F it up. So like Primer, that's why like Primer stands out. Like there's a lot of things that were like you know, like Outlander, like that's not like, so time travel is a part of it, but it's not about that. It's like we want to have a Scottish romance and she had to time travel to get there. But like, you know, Primer is about time travel, and like, you know, these other like cyber books, they're about time travel where they haven't thought it through. Oh, Primer's thought it through, but the others haven't thought it through.
I thought Paradox Hotel
didn't think it through.
What?
Paradox Hotel by I think Rob Hart, I want to say.
Did you not like?
No, I thought that was better. I thought that was like a better version of what Blake Crouch was trying to do.
I forgot about that one that I wanted to read. I need to read.
Yeah, I thought it was like smarter about time travel, and it was mysteriousness and sapphic, so that was fun.
I need to put that. Have any of y'all read The City We Became?
Yes.
No, I don't.
No, I need to.
Wait.
I think N.K. Jemisin is not for me.
I love the Broken Earth trilogy. And then I read The City We Became, and I felt so mad at myself because I was like, Nora.
I've heard a lot of people not like it. That like N.K. Jemisin.
If you want to like N.K. Jemisin again, you should read 100,000 Kingdoms.
That's what
it's my least favorite Jemisin I've read.
I was reading it with friends to talk about it on a podcast, or I would have DNF'd it the first page. I knew it was not for me. just the tone of it. I was like, and I was listening to the audio along with the book, and I was like, oh my God, there's so much going on. And the burrows, I don't know. I'm usually, messages being on the nose isn't always a miss for me, but this one I was like, I get it.
I would say there was no subtext in the book. It was all text.
So, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I just like when I think of having read Broken Earth, and I haven't finished The Inheritance, but I read 100,000 Kingdoms. On the nose is not a phrase I associate with N.K. Jemisin.
Yeah, this
It's
one.
it's an allegory. Like, it's a straight up allegory. It is not a metaphor. Like, it is like, this equals this very clearly.
The reason, like, I thought that I might not like it, I mean, I didn't expect to hate it. I have it. I want to read it. But because I've heard from a lot of people that if you're not intimately familiar with New York, that, like, it'll just kind of, like, you just, like, won't get it. So, like, I was like, I probably won't get it.
I mean, I lived there for a summer, but I wouldn't call myself, like, and what is
I've never been there.
I don't know what the like expert about a New. I don't know what a. Oh yeah, okay, a New Yorker. But even just like someone who knows a lot about New York, like a New Yorkist. I don't know. I wouldn't. I feel like I know like probably slightly more about New York than the average non-New Yorker.
I've never been to New York.
Yeah.
What?
I've been twice.
Really?
And I know certain stereotypes, but I feel like after reading it, you'll know the stereotypes of the boroughs because
they're right there.
Yeah,
they're right
if
there.
you want to find out about New York, this would be a good one.
Yeah. And I just
so if I plan a trip to New York, I should read that as like research for my trip.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I just did not enjoy any of it.
It's a strong flavor.
Yeah. And so I'm excited for those who do, because the next one is coming out soonish, or what, I don't know if it's the end of this year. But
That's
I was like,
why I unhauled my copy, because I was like, I'm not reading that sequel, so why am I holding on to this book?
I got rid of it. I need to read the 100,000 Kingdoms. Although I also read The Killing Moon, and I did love that.
100,000 Kingdoms is really good. You'll like
I need to read that because, like, I read The Killing Moon and Shattered Sun. And I was like, no. I didn't.
I feel like 100,000 Kingdoms is an easier place to start because it reads more like a fantasy book, you know, where you're like, I know what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, I mean, it's still really innovative and cool, and I haven't ever read anything like it because it's N.K. Jemisin. But, like, I feel more like, okay, this is a fantasy book. Like, I know what we're doing.
Yeah, I do. I have all three of those, I think, well, when I get my books. So I do plan to read those. And then, you know, I don't know how many books she is going to do in the Great Cities, I think it's called. But, you know, whatever new project, I'm like, I'll be looking for that, Nora.
Different one.
Yes. Well, we're at an hour, and I know Mara may be fading, so I don't know. Or
I gotta go too.
Did you get out enough salts? You know, I don't want to cut you off. You still got some in there.
I mean, yeah. I have more. If you want me to rag on the magicians, just invite me back at some point.
Or I mean,
just
can let it go. Or we could wrap it up there, because I know we'll probably have another.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to talk about the Sanderson book that I read this year. That's just as well.
Well, we want people to stay subscribed, Leanna.
Yeah.
So we can't talk about that.
Good point.
You got to stay tuned for the next part. So thank you, ladies, for sharing yourself with me. Thank you for watching. And in the comments, if you're watching, tell us any of your least favorite books you've read thus far. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.